in effect. These storms sliding right up in the direction that we were looking at, northeast, and we're going to continue to keep an eye on these over the next few hours. Gary.
Dana, we're getting indications from the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center is probably going to be coming out with a tornado watch for parts of southern Wisconsin. We're waiting to hear about that, but they are monitoring much of southern Wisconsin for a possible tornado watch. We've already had a couple tornado warnings, so that just indicates that the severe weather threat will continue into the evening. If you take a look at how these cells are developing, you're not seeing a big solid line of storms sweeping across. You're seeing these more isolated thunderstorm cells. We call those supercells, and we've mentioned this before. When you see those more individualized types of cells or clusters together, that is a better indication of a tornado potential weather environment around them. And because of that, these storms can kind of take energy from around them, and while there are areas near them that are not seeing any rain, they're taking all of that moisture and humidity and funneling it right into the updraft. So when we see this type of a radar indication, that's more of a concern for us, at least in the tornado sense. And this is a very decent tornado setup, at least for parts of the Midwest, especially for so late in the season. We normally don't see, this type of, this is something we'd see more likely in the spring. But what we're seeing right now are these individual thunderstorm cells, and we're going to key in on a couple of them here. Just seeing from the National Weather Service that they are letting the tornado warning for Sauk and Iowa counties expire at 5 p.m. They are not planning on reissuing it. However, the tornado warning continues for Marquette County until 5:30. I'm just going to zoom in on that and switch over to the wind velocity. And we're still seeing that wind circulation. If I had to put a marker where I would think the best chances of a tornado would be, it would be somewhere in this area here, just to the north and west-northwest of Montello. So doing a quick measurement on that, about 4 miles west-northwest of Montello. The storm tracking pretty much in a north-northeasterly direction. So that would take the best chance of a tornado, at least from this storm, and keep it to the west of Montello, but eventually headed up toward Highway 22, and that would be into the northern portions of Marquette County from the storm. And that would keep it just to the east of Westfield. But anywhere east of I-39 and north of Highway 82, you need to be in a safe place. This storm is capable of producing a tornado, and sometimes you get the different parts of the storm eventually cycle up and bring the potential for a tornado further on down the line. So that is something that bears watching there. Just checking some of the National Weather Service things here. Looks like according to the La Crosse National Weather Service office, pretty much their entire area is going to be in the tornado watch, which includes all of our viewing area west of Richland Center. So Juneau, Adams, Crawford, Richland, and Grant counties will be in this tornado watch. We're just waiting for the Storm Prediction Center to come out with the exact counties that will be in it. But that means the severe weather threat is going to continue through the evening hours. So, that's something that bears some watching. Dana?
Absolutely. And Gary, when they issue watches, of course, there's a very big difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. A watch is the equivalent of having all the brownie ingredients on the counter. We're looking at all the ingredients in the sky and in the atmosphere right now. The warning is when those ingredients start to mix together and your brownies are coming out of the oven. So that's what we're looking at right now with these tornado warnings getting issued. We're watching the rotation happen. We're watching our wind shear. We're watching all these ingredients come together, and we see our radar indicated tornadic activity pop up. So again, we're keeping an eye on two severe thunderstorm warnings and also one tornado warning right now through central and southern Wisconsin. We do have the chance, it sounds like, as Gary was just talking about, to have a tornado watch extended throughout central and southern Wisconsin as we head through the evening. That's why we have an alert day in effect for this evening and overnight, because we're going to continue to have severe thunderstorms pop up for us, the strong to severe thunderstorms pop up for us. So bouncing over to Crawford County, that severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5:15 this evening, just outside of Gay Mills, Haney, Soldiers Grove, and in Eastman. That's where we were watching our strong thunderstorm move through just a little bit earlier. We saw some very strong hail. It looked like large hail potential. There we go, just outside of Steuben. Some of those hail up to about an inch and a half, over an inch and a half, close to 2 inches. So significant hail falling just outside of Steuben. This is our current current hail estimates. There's the potential over the next 30 minutes to see any hail. That's our hail zone that we're keeping an eye on right now in Crawford County. So if you're in this area, you certainly want to come inside into the innermost room into your house, and also try to go into the basement if you have it, because we're seeing wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. You're going to want to take cover because we don't need a tornado to have severe damage and severe weather. The severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5:15. Again, it's for for parts of Crawford County for us right now. We're seeing very heavy rainfall, some strong wind gusts, and also that potential to see some hail. There we go. We're getting a side angle to see how high and how tall the storm is for us. Taking a little side view of our high resolution Doppler radar for us. Parts of that storm getting over 30,000 feet, it seems like. And that severe thunderstorm warning, there's the tallest part. You can see how high it is, how cold it is, and how much moisture is associated
and Dana,
with
if you want to just point out that hail shaft, that gets up to about 20,000 feet. I mean, that is very impressive. That's a very strong indicator that large hail is probably reaching the ground in that area. So that is something that really bears some watching, because that means the potential is there that we could be looking at very large hail on the ground, especially over parts of Columbia County there, or Crawford County.
For Crawford County. But you do bring up a good point. We do also have a severe thunderstorm warning in northwestern Columbia County. 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we're keeping an eye on. Also a tornado warning as these scattered thunderstorms continue to lift northeast throughout central and southern Wisconsin. This is a look at our future Doppler track. It looks like we may actually get a little bit of a break after this first round of storms, but not ruling out the chance to still have a few severe to strong thunderstorms over the rest of the evening. That's why.
Yeah, too, Dana, I was going to say that notice those storms are still appearing in clusters. We're not seeing one big solid line that will be sweeping on through that'll eventually end the severe thunderstorm threat. So this may go on for a fair amount of the evening, and these storms, as they pop up, bring the potential for producing some severe weather, and then all of a sudden they weaken a little bit, and then another one pops up. So this might be something that goes on for some time this evening.
Absolutely, and as you said, Gary, this is very much so a springtime-like event to be so warm and so humid, and to deal with these pop-up storms like this rather than just a front swinging on through, which is what we're quite used to, of course, in the Midwest, seeing those fronts slide through a tight line of storms and then things clear up behind it. We'll be talking about that later in the week. Right now, we're still focusing on that tornado warning until 5:30, and that severe thunderstorm warning also in effect for us right now. That tornado warning in effect again 5:30 for parts of Marquette County, the northwestern corner of Marquette County. It's going to continue to travel northeast. This storm originally located just about 15 miles north of Portage, right near Montello. We're seeing quite a bit of hail in that area, also some very strong wind gusts. So far, looking at our local storm reports, we get this from the National Weather Service. It lets us know what people are reporting in, sort of a boots on the ground kind of feel. No storm reports just yet, but that's the area that we're keeping an eye on for the potential for some rotation. That area seemed a little more defined just a bit ago, but again, no storm reports, it seems like, for Montello. For that tornado warning, if we bounce down, it seems like over towards Iowa County. We did get a report of hail earlier this evening, but right now, there we go, about an inch-size hail near Mineral Point, again at 250. Right now, that's the only storm report that we have for central and southern Wisconsin as these scattered thunderstorms continue to pop up and build through the area. It's warm, it's muggy outside. We're looking at a very stormy evening. That's why we still have an alert day in effect throughout the rest of the evening and overnight. This tornado warning, the only tornado warning we're still focusing on is in northwestern Marquette County until 5:30 tonight, still traveling northeast at about 20 miles per hour. We have the threat, of course, of a tornado, a radar indicated tornado, also the threat of some quarter-sized hail in that area near northwestern Marquette County, so just outside of Portage and also near Montello, as you can see. That storm is continuing to travel north. We're looking at our velocity right now and that gate-to-gate shear to see where the rotation potential is. Gary Canalti over at the weather desk kind of manning the radar right now, circling the area that we are most concerned about the potential for a tornado. If we had to pinpoint a location, would be just north of Montello along 22, traveling towards Dakota. It's going to continue to travel northeast at about 20 miles per hour. That area is still seeing very, very strong wind gusts and the concern for hail, also dealing with heavy rainfall right now. So if you are anywhere in that northwestern corner of Marquette County, you certainly definitely want to take cover. Innermost room of your house or in the basement if you can. Try to cover yourself with a pillow or blanket if possible. In the event of shattering glass, that's exactly what you're going to want over your head to try to keep yourself safe and comfortable. Bouncing on over to Columbia County, we do have the severe thunderstorm warning still in effect until 5:15. If I had to guess, Gary, it looks like they'll probably allow that severe thunderstorm warning to cancel or expire.
They are, but you know, you can just see they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for the southern portion of Marquette County outside of that tornado warning area. That is now in effect until 5:45. So that is the replacement for the warning for the storm that's moving out of Columbia County. So it is moving into the far southern portions of Marquette County. Hail probably the main concern from this right now.
Okay.
You can see just to the south there near Fort Winnebago. This is the latest hail estimate that we had. You can see hail 1.5 inches in diameter. That's larger than the size of quarters. And that hail, if we look at hail zone progression of where the hail is expected to be over the next 30 minutes. So you can see that moves into Moundville, all the way as far north as Montello. So the one storm already has moved west of Montello. That's the one where the tornado warning is in effect, but a new one will be heading through Endeavor, Glen Oak, just to the east of Packwaukee, and just to the west of Montello, producing large hail as it moves in that direction. So again, this is a completely separate storm than the tornado warned storm, which is farther to the north now, north of Montello. The tornado warning, by the way, has been canceled for areas south of Highway 82. So the tornado warning now just for the northern portions of Marquette County, north of Montello, east of Harrisville, and heading up into the far northern portions of Marquette County. That warning in effect until 5:30. Storm Prediction Center is coming out with a tornado watch right now. Let's see if they show it on the update here. Let's see if they have the watch box there. Yes, you can see a general area where the tornado watch will be issued. Looks like it will be basically north and west of Dane County. So from about Platteville to Madison up into, say, around Fond du Lac, north and west of that line. Looks like a tornado watch will be issued until 10 p.m. We'll get the exact counties that will be in that watch. But even if you see Dane County is not officially in the watch, that doesn't mean you can't have severe weather in and around the watch. So don't be so concerned by exactly who's in the watch and who isn't. Watches are kind of, here's a heads up. And if you're close to it, well, you still could be looking at the potential for some severe weather. So it's kind of a heads up deal there.
Absolutely. And the other thing, the lines from the watch line up almost perfectly with where the SPC, or Storm Prediction Center, had the outlines for our slight chance for severe weather today. Also line up with where we were looking to see the heaviest rainfall over the last several days. So models are coming together. Things are looking exactly how we kind of expected this afternoon and evening to play out. So this, again, that southwest corner of the state where that tornado watch will be issued through the rest of the evening. We'll get the exact counties in just a little bit. The tornado probability there, again, enhanced risk for the southwest corner of Dane County. We do have a tornado warning right now that we're still keeping an eye on, as well as 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. We may also see some very high winds over the next several hours. So all of these predictions made in advance, forecasted in advance of these storms playing out in the areas that we have been monitoring. Again, why an alert day was in effect for this evening. So take a little closer look at the severe thunderstorm warning and our tornado warning in Marquette County. That tornado warning goes until 5:30, so about 20 more minutes. We'll be keeping a close eye on that area. We saw some radar indicated rotation, also the potential for some hail, some large hail, and some significant wind gusts. That severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning in Marquette right now. Just outside of Harrisville right now, seeing some very strong wind gusts along 22 traveling north. The storm is traveling northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So if you're anywhere in Marquette County around 22, you're certainly going to want to head inside, as we're looking at the potential, it seems like, looking for that rotation spot, Gary, right now on our radar. It seems like things may be
I think it's more of a broad rotation at this point. just to the south of Budson, right on Highway 23 there, or 22, excuse me. That would still head it up toward Deschoro and just to the south of Wautoma, as the storm will eventually travel out of Marquette County and into the southern portion of Waushara County. However, I've been taking a look at this farther to the south, and there may also be some additional rotation that has been taking place in that severe thunderstorm warning area, especially over the southern portion of Marquette County. And that would be somewhere in the vicinity just to the east of Moundville and to the west of Buffalo. So I'm going to circle that area here. This is an area of some concern because we could be looking at the potential there for, at the very least, a larger threat for hail. And if we take a look at the hail estimate here, this is the last update, which is just to the south, but the hail zone track will take it right through, and you can see how that has also increased in size. So areas between Moundville and Buffalo through Glen Oak and then up toward Montello could be looking at hail larger than 1 inch in diameter, and that would be about to the size of quarters. So, you know, that is a separate storm from the storm that's already gone just to the west of Montello, where the tornado warning remains in effect for the northern portion of Marquette County. Now, farther to the south and west, we're continuing to watch severe thunderstorms over Crawford County. This storm certainly has been capable of producing some very large hail. That storm right now, let's see where it is, right about over Gaze Mills. Looks like it's weakened a little bit, but if we go ahead and take a look at that hail estimate, you can see where the storm has tracked just to the north and west of Steuben. Estimated hail sizes there, close to golf ball sized hail. Again, this is an area that bears some watching because there is some wind circulation in there as well. Not a very tight circulation, but that's what's concentrating the updraft in that thunderstorm that's producing the very large hail. And the circulation appears to be tightening up just a little bit. We'll do a quick check here on the wind velocities. And yeah, we're starting to see some a little more intense circulation here, and that is right. I'll take this off of the screen here, but that would be just to the east of Gaze Mills by about 3 miles. So that is something that bears some watching there. The National Weather Service in La Crosse that covers that area, and they're continuing to monitor that storm, but there are tornado warnings just to the west of the Mississippi River in Allamakee County that could be moving into parts of Crawford and Vernon County as well. So, as we've mentioned, these are clusters of thunderstorms. It's not just one solid line that, the storm's going to move on through, and we can kind of time it. These storms pop up, they weaken, they pop up again, and so that's of a concern because you almost have to keep watching just about everywhere to see where the next severe weather threat will be. Okay. We're going to be going to Eric and Susan in a second. I just do want to mention that we have the counties now in that tornado watch, and that is Columbia, Green Lake, Iowa, Marquette, and Sauk, as well as areas to the west and north of there. So it does not include Dane County, but includes areas to the west and north of Dane County. Tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m.
And obviously, we're going to stay with severe weather coverage, at least up until 5:30, as this tornado warning is something Gary's watching. Give Dana and Gary a chance to catch their breath. We have some pictures coming in, and we'll give Dana the opportunity to look at it and let us know what you see here. This was submitted by Alicia in the village of Plain. Dana, this is in Sauk County. What are we looking at here?
Putting me on the spot here, yes.
It's a weather test.
No, we've had several severe weather photos pop up, and you can always submit them on Facebook and Twitter, and of course through the app as well. We'd love to see your photos on the ground. It looks like a wall cloud is what I would assume with that, Gary, sliding into Plain. Quite a dark picture there, as you can see from the sky, a stormy sky for us. This is just outside of Plain from Alicia Ramsden. A wall cloud there. Again, sliding in with that severe
We've got a
thunderstorm.
couple other pictures as well that have come into the newsroom. Of course, just like Dana said, there are a variety of ways to submit those pictures. We want you to do so safely. don't put yourself at risk going out and taking those pictures. Let's go back to Dana.
All right, guys, we are continuing to keep an eye again on a severe thunderstorm warning and also a tornado warning for us in central and southern Wisconsin. That severe thunderstorm warning at the edge of Marquette County. Our tornado warning also in Marquette County right now. The thing to keep in mind, these storms popping up and then dying down and then popping up again. Some of these cells continuing to travel northeast. The specific severe thunderstorm warning just an extension of the one that we saw in Columbia County. So even if you're in the areas around the warning lines, do understand that those lines are a little fuzzy, especially if you're on the northeast side. You definitely need to take cover if you're anywhere in Marquette County right now. That tornado warning until 5:30. We're keeping an eye on the northern edge of Marquette County, and then on the southern edge of the county, a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45, as we're seeing the potential for some very large hail and also some stronger wind gusts. I know Gary just mentioned the counties that are in the tornado watch right now that has been extended to cover much of the northwestern side of southern Wisconsin. That tornado watch from pretty much northwest Madison extending through Grant County and down into Iowa from the Storm Prediction Center. It lasts all the way until 10 o'clock this evening, extending up through the Dells. We do have the chance again to see these isolated pop-up storms until 10 o'clock tonight. Our atmosphere is just very unstable right now, so these storms building very quickly and then dying back down very quickly. This again is a tornado watch. The ingredients are all there. This is what the area will be keeping a very close eye on. But even if you are not inside the watch lines, it's not ruling out the chance to see a severe thunderstorm or even a tornado warning pop up over the next several hours. That watch just the general guidelines for the areas that could be seeing some stronger storms, but that doesn't mean severe weather can't happen outside of those lines. Those lines aren't barriers for the atmosphere. Mother Nature can go wherever it wants to. Right now, we are keeping an eye again on a tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning in Marquette counties. That tornado warning until 5:30 for the northeastern corner of Marquette County right now, and then also looking at that severe thunderstorm warning. I want to send it back over to Eric and Susan right now. It sounds like we have some more pictures that you guys had from viewers coming in.
We have, thank you, Dana. We have some pictures and we're getting some damage reports. We're hearing from the Columbia County Sheriff's Department that there are trees down on the northwest side of Portage, trees down on Curry Road, and one is down on Carroll Road. But Sauk County Emergency Management says they have no damage to report so far.
Let's hope it stays that way. Let's go back to Gary.
And Eric and Susan, we're watching that storm in the far northern portion of Marquette County. That's the only active tornado warning that we have right now. That is until 5:30. That storm almost out of Marquette County. It's just to the south of Neshkoro. If we take a look at the wind velocity here, that velocity much more broad, the rotation here. It looks like it's still just to the east of Highway 22, but it's a much broader rotation. So I think the tornado threat may be lessening a little bit. In fact, the National Weather Service in Green Bay has gone with a severe thunderstorm warning in Waushara County, just to the north of that tornado warning. That's part of the Green Bay National Weather Service office responsibility. Southern portion of Marquette County, there's some rotation as well. It is a very broad rotation. Hail might be the bigger threat, at least in the southern portion of Marquette County, perhaps up to the size of quarters, at least moving between Buffalo and, say, Packwaukee, as that storm tracks into the southern portion of Marquette County. But at least for the time being, those storms seem to be weakening. The tornado warning for the northern portion of Marquette County runs until 5:30, I believe. And so I have a feeling that that warning may be allowed to expire just because of the fact that it looks like that storm will be moving into Waushara County, and it has been weakening as it's been moving up to the north. But the other area that we've been watching in Crawford County, that storm has weakened as well. That storm right now is moving actually into the far northeastern portion of Crawford County, just to the south of Soldiers Grove. Still capable of producing some hail. Right now, it looks like the hail might be below severe limits. We're not seeing that intense area of hail that we saw just a few minutes ago, so that's a good sign. That storm seems to be weakening now. So let's just kind of put this all together, give you a quick overview of where we are here. But we have clusters of severe thunderstorms. Right now, a tornado warning, the far northern portion of Marquette County until 5:30. Southern portion of Marquette County, a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45. Those are the only warnings that we have in effect right now across our area. There are some strong thunderstorms, though, that have been developing pretty rapidly just within the last few minutes around Janesville, and also just to the southeast of Whitewater. A cluster of storms around Monticello in the central portion of Greene County. These storms will be tracking north and northeast into the central and eastern portions of Dane County, around the city of Madison and areas to the east. Also some clusters of storms still moving through Columbia and Sauk County up toward the Dells. And then farther to the southwest, we're seeing maybe a little bit more of a break across northern Illinois. Farther to the west into Iowa, a number of tornado warnings we've been seeing through the afternoon hours. And these storms, as they track toward the north and northeast, may eventually affect parts of southwestern Wisconsin later on this evening. That's why the Storm Prediction Center does have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m., and that covers pretty much the areas north and west of Madison in the southern portion of Wisconsin. And I think, at this point, we've got about another 9 minutes on that tornado warning for the northern portion of Marquette County. I think at this point, and because we've done a lot of severe weather coverage here, I'm just waiting to see whether or not the National Weather Service has any comments on their. They let the severe thunderstorm warning for Crawford County expire. There was a report of ping pong ball sized hail in Portage from that storm, which is now in Marquette County. And then that storm in the far northern portions of Marquette County, that storm appears to be weakening and almost ready to move into Waushara County. So at this point, I think we probably could back off on the coverage here. We certainly will jump back into programming if need be as far as the tornado situation is concerned. We are getting some reports of a possible wall cloud in and around Baraboo. Doesn't seem to be rotating, but there's a pretty intense thunderstorm there. No warnings in effect for that area. So, we're just continuing to watch all these clusters of storms as they move through the southern portion of Wisconsin over the next couple of hours. And I think we're going to be back off and on here with severe coverage through the evening if need be. So, I don't know what Okay, so let's go over to Mark and Susan. We'll do an abbreviated newscast, or to Eric and Susan, and we'll have an abbreviated news 3 at 5.
All right, Gary. Gary, thank you.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. If we need to check back, just let us know and we will do that. Here's what's making news today that we didn't get an opportunity to tell you about earlier. Patients who need seizure medication containing CBD are now allowed to get it in Wisconsin.
And also, less than a month now until the November election. We'll tell you in a moment how the candidates for governor in Wisconsin say they would help create jobs. First at 5, officials are investigating the cause of an explosion at a Monroe ethanol plant. It happened early this morning.
Our Jamie Perez has more on the explosion and
That's right. Well, Badger State Ethanol in Monroe say they shut down the plant this afternoon after the explosion out of precaution. Now, officials say they received a call around 5:50 of an explosion in a corn silo at Badger State Ethanol. They say that it was a slow-burning fire that caused no injuries and no evacuations. 8 people were working at the time of the explosion. Officials say they learned how to deal with this the best they could from the Cambria explosion in May 2017 that killed 5 people.
Yes, it did come to mind, but it also brought to mind some of the learning things that we have from those type of events. And the big thing is call for the help right away. Don't waste time getting that, and quickly account for everybody. And that's what we were able to do.
The cause is still under investigation, and they do not believe there was any criminal intent behind this. Their next focus is to find out what caused this and how to prevent it to make it a safer plant. They say they are 100% committed to making it so.
All right, Jamie Perez in the newsroom. Jamie, thank you.
A man visiting Madison for the Badger game over the weekend was knocked unconscious after being attacked on State Street. Police say the 27-year-old Mequon man was attacked in the 500 block of State Street. Witnesses told police 34-year-old Nicholas Brune tackled the victim, punched him in the head. Bystanders alerted a nearby officer. Brune struggled with the officer but was eventually arrested. The victim taken to the hospital with head injuries. Brune faces tentative charges of substantial battery, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest.
A bus driver in the Middleton Cross Plains School District District has been fired and cited after a video shows him putting his hands on the back of a girl's head. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says 51-year-old Thomas Armour is being ticketed for disorderly conduct. The girl's mother told Madison 365 that Armour smacked her daughter, who has special needs. The district says the driver was put on administrative leave the following day, and he was fired 1 week after the incident.
After months of legal hurdles, people who need a seizure medication containing CBD are now allowed to get it in Wisconsin.
The drug called Epidiolex is the first medication containing CBD to be approved by the FDA, and now the first in Wisconsin. Amanda Quintana is here to explain the action that the state took to approve it today. Amanda.
Yes, well, the drug Epidiolex was federally approved to treat 2 rare forms of epilepsy. Now, Wisconsin patients are able to take advantage of it because an order by the Controlled Substances Board today. Epidiolex was approved by the FDA in June, but it took almost 3 months for the DEA to make the necessary changes to allow the drug to be used. Since cannabis is still a Schedule 1 drug, they had to reschedule Epidiolex to be Schedule 5, which implies that it's accepted medical uses and low potential for abuse. Today, Wisconsin did that same thing.
Consumers, patients, children now have access to a medication that has been proven to be effective, but the action we've taken today allows that hopefully to have no delay, that once it's available, people will be able to utilize it.
Last week, we introduced you to Adeline Hiles, a 6-year-old with a rare form of epilepsy. Her parents and her doctor believe Epidiolex could be the answer to stopping her seizures. At 6, we will hear from her father why he says this action by the state is a start, but he wants to see more done to allow families like his to access CBD oils and supplements, not just Epidiolex.
All right, Amanda Quintana reporting. Amanda, thank you very much. We'll have more coverage coming away on News 3 at 6. We will cut in as needed on those weather alerts. Stand by for the CBS Evening News.